No matter how much I fall, baby, you define me. What's up, chat? What's good? What the hell? Why am I Amazon, dude? We're not Prime. They exposed Push Icy though. I kind of want to see that. What's good, chat?
Guys, we have clips. We gotta catch them up. We want to push out. So update me. Okay. So can I go act on this part? He explained this, breaks it down. Yeah. Okay, let me go act. Let me go act. Let me go act. Let me go act. But I'm gonna tell act to give like a cat.
Oh, he wasn't just text me. Your battery just was working like crazy. How she had them? Oh, Don. Oh no. Right. No, right. No, I've never lied.
He told me they're off.
No, why did you lie about shit? I've never told you.
You did?
Oh my, well, okay, I never said that.
I have to eat pork. Act's not answering. But I need someone to explain it. Maybe Charles. I need someone to explain the situation. Okay. What's the chat? I just don't. I'm not as educated.
You see the Indian jail? Okay. They stick together, right?
Yeah. So in jail, are there cliques? Like people, Jewish people, like Mexicans.
Yeah.
There's a Muslim clique. What about Jewish cliques?
You know what? Religion shouldn't be treated as a game.
But that's how they do it.
But they're brothers, though. Like, what's the anything as well. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Somebody send me a tweet, chat. Send me a tweet of Bemis so I can pitch it. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So I'll explain the situation. I had brand risk. Lupe spot one of my fighters. Basically, contract to sign. Every other.
Wait. I spoke to Dom when he was at your event.
Okay.
And he told me that really slow.
He did. He got really upset. Went on screams, started saying things, pissed off Rainback. They pay the fighters, brand risk, and kept saying it's rigged, this and that.
And when that he got knocked out, right?
He's saying that I rigged the fight. The blue face fight. Which I didn't. It's the Florida State Athletic Commission. They're the one who fought the shot. I have no say or what who wins. I'll give an example. The fight before that, Gypsy, I wanted Gypsy. I was very biased, and he still won. So I don't control anything to do with judges. But he went on like this whole thing, went like whack on ball, stuff. So look, I'm trying to figure out a solution here, but it's illegal.
So okay, all right. So this has nothing to do with situation.
No, let's get to the Gucci Mane. There we go. All right, here's the Gucci Mane right here. Oh,
Never mind.
I was texting whack. I was sending that's me. I sent a picture of him. About money, he thinks it's funny. That's just
that.
Me is I don't know. I was just bringing on something.
Wait, I know you this.
You still be AI? Why do you do that?
I don't know.
Basically, look.
Yo, Rod, you're gonna spell it the same way.
But it's ADIN. Whatever, I was trolling. It's not. Look, where's the bullshit? Like, bro, Mod, you're doing really bad right now. Send. They even want to react.
No, it's not one. I really want to know the situation. All right, can I tell you what I think I know?
Well, just let me send a post. Let's see. Stories that identify Pashesi with credit subject to peanuts and rap launch. Trolling. Okay, here it is. Sorry. Okay. Thank you for your book.
I'm Rabel, U.S. Attorney for the North District of Texas. Thank you for coming. This week, 9 individuals, including well known artists, kidnapped and robbed a young woman murdered in 16 in Alabama. 8 of the 9 were arrested yesterday, Dallas, and Nashville. These individuals were charged premeditated. Montrell Williams Jr., also known as CIT, Montrell Williams Sr., Roger White Jr. also had a big 30. Darius Waters, Demarion Gibson, Lamarcus Glover, Corday Johnson, Darian McDaniel, and Terrence Rogers has not been arrested yet, but will be soon. The complaint alleges that on January 10th of this year, three music industry professionals traveled to Dallas for a scheduled this meeting. Lontrell Williams Jr. arranged this meeting purportedly to discuss the terms of his recording contract with one of the victims.
Oh,
As alleged, once these three men
You want a bit of puzzle?
What?
You fart.
I'm a bit of
I
puzzle.
seen the same thing. What?
A puzzle.
I'm gonna tell you, a lot of people don't want to believe this stuff. You know what I mean? I know. Let's do a thousand top.
Shit.
You know when we grew up on Spider-Man, Batman,
Yeah.
Thor, and stuff. They grew up, and you know, we was kids at once. We thought 50 Cent was like,
I love it.
yeah, we thought like many men.
Yeah.
So when I speak to me, I know it's gonna be hard to believe, and they see the little words and I'm gonna mention this. The justice system, I mean the justice system, I mean like the Department of Justice is great. It's California versus yeah. It's not the state, right? You have your state charge. You ever got arrested?
Never.
You ever got arrested in Dubai? Okay. If you get arrested here in Miami, but you get arrested here in
Seafood?
arrested in LA, arrested in Texas.
Bro, seafood is nasty, bro.
Go to the state, which is count.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I don't want something.
What?
Marshals, it's literally the United States Marshal, which is the United States. That guy that was talking, the United States Attorney in Texas, Dallas, Texas, right? Which is the district, whatever. El Chapo was prosecuted by the Eastern District. Maduro was getting prosecuted by the Southern District. I was prosecuted by the Southern District. Diddy was prosecuted by the Southern District. It's United States of America versus you. So what I'm saying about this, no one believes for me. You can think the messenger, right message, wrong messenger, whatever. When the United States of America, the government came for you because someone is talking, snitching, right? Whether it's Gucci Mane or listen, I've learned that everybody who saw about me has an opinion, so they're in your situation. Pooh Shiesty is down in the situation. Gucci Mane is down in the situation. Little Dirk is down in the situation. Remember the song? What was that? I did not play that little boy.
Nigga, now listen, alright? Wait, who I talking about?
What's the name of that song?
Sometimes we laugh, sometimes we cry. Laugh now, cry later.
So who's laughing at? Who's laughing at me?
Excuse me, sir. How old were you when you made your first million?
What is this for?
We're trying to get advice for the younger generation.
I made my first million last year, actually.
Welcome to Scary Come, where every shadow hides a story, every sound means moments that blur the line between fear and the paranormal. So turn off the lights and step into the horror. A man was driving home from work late one night when a powerful storm forced him to stay inside his car for a while before going in. Rain pounded the neighborhood. Darkness swallowed the street. And for a moment, everything outside felt distant, cold, and wrong. So he sat there, waiting for the weather to ease, until something outside suddenly caught his attention. On the roof of his neighbor's house, he noticed a tall, shadowy figure moving in the storm. Disturbed by what he was seeing, he immediately pulled out his phone and started recording. looked almost human. But there was something deeply wrong about it. It appeared far taller than any normal person should be, and whatever it was, it did not look like a decoration or a statue, because near the beginning of the video, it can be seen moving slightly. According to the man, the figure was completely dark, completely featureless, just a towering silhouette standing against the stormy night. But what makes the encounter even more unsettling is what happened the next morning. When daylight came, the figure was gone, without a trace. Hoping for some kind of explanation, the man asked his neighbor about it, but the neighbor said he had no idea what had been standing on the roof. In fact, after watching the footage for himself, he became visibly terrified. And that leaves behind one chilling question. What exactly was standing on that roof in the middle of the storm that night? This creepy clip taps into one of the oldest and most unsettling human fears. The moment your own home stops feeling safe. A place that should feel familiar, private, and completely under your control suddenly feels like it belongs to something else. In this case, a man is simply returning to his apartment one evening, expecting nothing more than an ordinary night. But before he even reaches the door, he glances up toward his bedroom windows and sees something staring straight back at him.
I'm outside of my apartment building, and there's something watching me from my window. I don't know what or who that is, but it keeps watching me, following me. My God. Okay. And as soon as I run back upstairs,
Shit,
it's
chat.
gonna disappear. What do you want?
In the footage, a strange figure can be seen standing at the window. And what makes it so disturbing is not just where it is, but how clearly defined it appears. Some viewers were quick to suggest that it might just be clothing, maybe a shirt, or fabric hanging in a way that creates the illusion of a person. But the longer you watch, the harder that explanation becomes to accept. The shape does not hang like fabric. It seems to hold a form, a presence. And near the end of the clip, there appears to be a subtle movement, one that makes the entire moment even more unsettling. Some believe whatever was standing at that window may have been there far longer than he realized, blending into the room unnoticed until the exact moment it chose to be seen. But until more is revealed, this creepy encounter remains unsolved. In the following terrifying clip, a woman is home alone when something suddenly goes wrong. Without warning, her fire alarm erupts.
Mom told us that they were gonna test the area that night.
Shit.
On March 6, 2026, a deadly tornado tore through parts of the United States. In the aftermath, intense lightning struck nearby, triggering a sudden power outage in her areas. And almost instantly after the strike, the fire alarm begins blaring, turning an already chaotic night into something even more unnerving. shaken and confused. She gets up immediately to make sure her dogs are safe. But as she moves through the house, she realizes something even stranger. Only certain parts of the home have lost power, while others are still working. Not knowing whether the house is still safe, she calls the fire department, asking them to inspect the property and determine if the areas with electricity can still be used. Checking the breaker box, the firefighters tell her the electrical issue should likely be repaired soon. But while waiting, Destiny decides to review the CCTV footage from the exact moment the lightning struck, hoping to understand what happened. Instead, she notices something utterly horrifying. Watch closely.
Okay. So watch in this right corner. Right where the lightning strikes. There. What is that? What is that? What is that?
For just a split second, during the lightning flash, the camera captures a dark figure on all fours, directly in front of the door.
Ivy.
It only appears for a few frames, but long enough to make one thing clear. Something is there. Whatever it was leaves Destiny deeply disturbed.
You don't want
So
that
later,
Roblox?
she checks more security footage from the time the firefighters were inside the house. And once again, she captures something chilling.
No, we were in yeah. House show.
Destiny had placed candles around the house for light, and in one clip, a candle suddenly goes out on its own. At that exact moment, a large shadow seems to rush past the area. Even stranger,
Oh, a silent
one
one
of the
too, dude.
firefighters appeared to notice something near the candle and looks directly toward it. He later says that for a brief moment, he thought he saw a figure sitting on the sofa. After hearing that, they continue checking the rest of the footage, and what they find only makes the night feel even more disturbing. The firefighters walks over to inspect the breaker box. He noticeably avoids getting too close to the sofa, keeping his flashlight lowered toward it, still unsettled by what he thought he saw earlier. Then, without anyone near it, the indentation in the sofa's backrest suddenly pushes outward and returns to normal, as if something had just stood up. Moments later, the shape slowly sinks inward again, as though whatever was there slipped back down.
What happened, Shorty?
And this was not the only time it happened.
What happened, Shorty? Are you farting, dude? I got my eye on you.
Just as
Everything that I need.
The sofa, The backrest presses inward again, as if something unseen is reacting. On both
I can't even
occasions,
tell you.
the movement happens right after light is directed at
They
the
got
exact
ugly,
spot,
but I dirty money.
and
Got
that is
the
what makes
primo
this
clean.
footage so unsettling. Just as the lightning flash seemed to reveal the figure near the door, could the same thing have later been sitting on the sofa? And if so, did whatever appeared that night somehow enter the house when the storm hit? Like so many creepy videos caught on camera, this one remains unexplained. This terrifying footage comes from a woman named Lauren, who says the paranormal activity inside her home has been getting worse over time. What began as small, easy-to-dismiss moments had slowly turned into something that feels deliberate, almost intelligent. Before this particular night, Lauren had already documented several deeply unsettling incidents. She found strange footprints on her floors, footprints that matched no one in the house, smaller than an adult's, oddly formed, as if whatever made them had only partially taken shape. Then she began noticing figures slipping through the edge of her vision, never fully visible, always just beyond direct sight, enough to make her question herself, until it kept happening again and again. And then there were the voices. At first, they were faint, almost blending into the background. But over time, they became clear enough for her to know one thing. They were not coming from outside, and not from anyone else in the house. She also says objects have shifted on their own. Doors have creaked open after being shut, and small items have fallen with no visible cause. On their own, each of those moments might be easy to explain away, but together, they start to feel like pieces of something much darker. Then one night, just as Lauren was getting ready for bed, she heard the noises again. And this time, instead of ignoring them, she grabbed her phone and started recording.
I mean, upstairs and check something. So just heard a noise. Teddy. What's that? What is that?
Listen closely. What you hear sounds disturbingly like children playing. And that is exactly what makes the footage so unnerving, because there are no children there. In paranormal cases, childlike voices are sometimes linked to what investigators call mimic entities, presences that imitate innocence to seem harmless before the activity becomes far more intense. Others believe sounds like these could be part of a residual haunting, as if fragments of the past have somehow been imprinted into the house and are replaying themselves like an old recording. But according to Lauren, what she has been experiencing does not feel passive. It does not feel residual. It feels aware. So for now, she continues documenting everything, hoping that eventually she will understand what is sharing that house with her. Until then, this creepy haunting remains unexplained. In this scary video, a man who has been living with non-stop disturbance inside his home finally reaches his limit. Night after night, his sleep has been broken by strange noises, shifting objects, and that constant oppressive feeling that he is not alone. Even when every room appears empty, the presence never seems far away. At first, he tries to ignore it, hoping the activity will fade on its own, hoping whatever is happening will simply stop. But instead, the haunting only grows more frequent and more aggressive. Desperate for answers, he begins speaking to others, researching what might be happening, and trying to understand what is inside that house with him. And eventually, he comes to believe the presence tormenting him is the restless spirit of a very old man, someone he claims once lived there and never truly moved on. According to what he later shared, he believed this entity was around 192 years old, bound to the house in a way that prayers and rituals had not been able to break. So one night, after being jolted awake once again by the familiar sound of things being thrown around the house, he decides to stop hiding from it. This time, he confronts it.
Como un alma que no puede oír ¿Ves la sombra? Mira la sombra.
Living there, look.
A las almas.
No.
No.
Oh, that's fine.
Hold on, yes, sir. Lo más tranquilo que puedo. Mira, hermano. ¿Qué está haciendo?
Oh, you can immerse some people. I can't immerse some.
Mira, se prendió la luz. No te piando. No te piando. No te piando. Mira.
Let me change. I'm putting it over.
Mira.
It's 100.
Valí, a ver cuánto es lo que vale. Un mano a mano contra uno no aguanta nadie, un mano a mano contra mí, digo. Deja de hacerte las ridículas. Tenés como 192 años y seguías tratando a la gente. ¿Por qué no te vas sentarte en la vereda afuera? Agarró un puente, por lo menos. ¿Te das cuenta que en las sombras se te vi tenían todos los pelos parados? Ridícula.
At around 3 a.m., before he steps into the room, he notices something that instantly puts him on edge. The moment he enters and tries to switch on the light, nothing happens. But even in the darkness, there is already a strange glow inside the room. Then, without warning, things begin flying violently around the space. Objects move, crash, and lash out through the darkness as if something inside that room is reacting to his presence. And only after the light finally comes on does the chaos stop. By then, whatever was there is gone. But what makes this paranormal clip so unsettling is not just the activity itself, it is the choice he made. Some believe that standing your ground against a haunting shows strength, that refusing to fear it can somehow weaken whatever is feeding on that fear. Others believe the exact opposite, that confronting an unseen entity is dangerous, especially if what you are dealing with is aware, reactive, and capable of escalating. And that leaves behind a much darker question. When something unseen is haunting your home, is it brave to confront it, or the worst thing you could possibly do? A clip surfaces that leaves viewers convinced they are hearing something far more disturbing. This next piece of footage was shared to social media by a woman named Nancy. During Christmas break, she left home to visit family, leaving the house completely empty while the security system continued recording in case anything unusual happened. But what the cameras ended up capturing was not what anyone expected. And for many viewers, it was downright horrifying. Sounds disturbing, like screaming. The kind of raw, panicked sound that feels like someone crying out in terror or pain. And according to some people who listen closely, the voice seems to form actual words, words that make the clip feel even more disturbing. Because what they hear is one chilling command: get out. Nancy says the cameras captured nothing else at all. No visible movement, no person, no shadow crossing the frame, just the screen. And that detail alone is what makes the footage so creepy. Some viewers have tried to explain it logically, suggesting it could be old pipes shifting, or maybe some kind of animal noise from outside somehow carrying into the recording. But even with those possibilities, the sound is hard to shake. So what do you hear? Does it sound like something ordinary, something that can be explained away by pipes or animals? Or does it sound like something far more paranormal, trying to make itself heard inside an empty house? This scary footage was shared by a man on Reddit after his home security camera captured something deeply unsettling. Late at night, around 4:30 a.m., he was sitting alone, quietly watching TV, when he suddenly heard a strange noise coming from the living room. At first, it was only enough to make him stop and listen. But only moments later, the silence turned into something far more disturbing. Trying to stay rational, the man picks it up and places it back, brushing it off as nothing serious. But then, the atmosphere changes completely, because only seconds later, a chair begins moving by itself. And according to him, this was not some isolated incident. He says he has been hearing strange, unexplained noises throughout the house for quite some time now. And after witnessing this, he has started to believe his home may actually be haunted. So what do you think? A simple coincidence or a genuine paranormal disturbance caught on camera? In this terrifying clip, a man's security camera captures something that soon becomes one of the most unsettling experiences in his entire neighborhood. For weeks, people living nearby had been reporting strange voices outside their windows late at night. Voices with no visible source. Some described faint whispering picked up on their cameras, while others claimed they heard full words being spoken when no one was there. The sounds seemed to come out of nowhere and vanish just as suddenly. At first, he brushed it off, just like everyone else. But then, his own security footage captured something he could no longer ignore.
Hold on, before you pay for yet another ad to manage your team, let me introduce you to Connect Team, the one platform that replaces all of these. I'm talking about live scheduling, time tracking, and digital forms that help you stay in control. Use instant team updates and personal or group chats to communicate easily and effectively. So stop splitting your business across apps, whiteboards, binders, platforms. It's exhausting, it's expensive, and honestly, it's unnecessary. Join thousands of businesses that simplified employee management, cut costs in basically half, and got back the time to focus on what matters most. Start your free trial now at connectteam.com.
Masking in Adobe Premiere has never been easier. All you have to do is click the object mask tool, select the subject, and it will track with one click. You can still refine the mask as you please. And that's literally it. Try now or free for 7 days.
A voice can be heard speaking in Spanish. What makes the voice so disturbing is not just what the voice says, but where it seems to come from. There is no person in frame, no movement, no passing shadow, nothing at all. And yet the voice sounds close, clear enough to feel as if someone is standing right there. Because his Spanish is not fluent, he uploads the clip online and asks others to translate it. And one interpretation immediately stands out, sending a chill through everyone who hears it. According to several viewers, the voice appears to say a line from a Catholic prayer, from centuries to centuries. Amen. A phrase tied to eternity, to faith, to something far beyond the ordinary. And that is where the footage becomes truly unsettling. Prayers are usually spoken by the living, during worship, protection, or moments of devotion. But hearing one delivered by a voice, with no visible source, raises a far darker question. Who or what was saying it? And who was it meant for? This creepy footage was recorded by a woman named Alex, who had started noticing something deeply unsettling about the house right next to hers. A house that should have been completely empty. The neighbor who once lived there had sadly passed away after suffering a heart attack, and ever since then, the property had remained untouched. No family moved in. No renovations ever began. No new tenant ever showed up. Just a silent, closed-off home, with no visible signs of life. Until Alex began seeing something that made no sense. Night after night, lights inside the house would suddenly switch on, then off again, at strange hours, with no clear pattern. And after witnessing it happen several times, she finally decided to record it.
It just looked like somebody. Oh, it still looks like someone's looking out the window, but I can't tell. Does that look like a whole person standing here in that window? Like kind of looking out. Okay. Sweet. No lights. That's the neighbors. But that's his bedroom. Another bedroom. No. No. No one's been in this house since he passed, other than when they came and redid the floors and everything to get it so people can move in it, but no one's even come and looked at the property. Let me try something. Okay. I haven't done this filter in a minute. Let me see if it works. Okay. All right. I hate when it does that. Let's see if I can get it. Let me go out to my porch real quick. All right. It's doing that every time. No, I know.
Let me try it one more time. Right, so I just turned the filter off so I can zoom in one more time. Yeah, I don't know what's going on, but it's not normal. He won't let me go over there and investigate any further. There's that open window again. And the light's not even on over there. It's just literally on in his living room. And that's where he always chilled, was in his living room. Oh. All right. I'm going to end it here, y'all. I'll update you in a little while if I see anything.
At first, Alex tried to explain it rationally. Maybe the lights were controlled by some kind of timer. But when she contacted the landlord to ask, the answer only made the situation worse. There was no timer installed. No one had entered the house. And according to him, nobody new had moved in. So if that is true, then who, or what, kept turning the lights on inside an empty home? Some believe that if the former owner had a strong attachment to that place, part of him may have never truly left, continuing old routines, unaware that anything had changed. Others may see a more